Rain lashes the gravestones of Havenport's seaside cemetery, each drop a cold sting against my skin. I stand before my father's grave. James Caldwell, the man who built an empire from the waves. My fingers clutch a tarnished brass compass, the only thing he left me. It's heavy not just with metal, but with questions. Why this dad? Why not? The company, the house, the legacy. The wind howls, carrying the salt of the sea, and I whisper, what did I do wrong? My voice cracks, lost in the storm. A shadow moves behind me. Nathan Bennett, my brother-in-law, steps forward, his expensive coat untouched by the rain. His smirk cuts deeper than the wind. Think you deserved more, Ethan. The company, the mansion, the whole damn estate. It's mine. That little compass. It suits a small-time teacher like you. His laugh is sharp like glass. I want to shout, to shove him, but I swallow the anger. My thumb brushes the compass, and I flip it open. The needle trembles, not pointing north, but somewhere else. Somewhere. Alive. It's pulling me like a heartbeat. I meet Nathan's eyes, his arrogance blazing. You don't know what this means. I say, my voice steady despite the storm in my chest. He scoffs, turning away, but I'm already moving toward my dad's old Ford pickup, the compass in my hand. The rain blurs the world, but the needle is clear, guiding me to something hidden, something Dad wanted me to find. I slide into the driver's seat, the leather creaking, and start the engine. The hum feels like a promise. Wherever this leads, it's more than Nathan will ever understand. The road ahead is dark, but I'm ready to follow. The Ford's engine rumbles as I pull away from the cemetery, the compass resting on the dashboard, its needle still trembling. Havenport's rain-slicked streets blur past the town's white clapboard houses and lobster traps glowing faintly under storm clouds. This place, with its salty air and restless waves, was Dad's kingdom. Caldwell Maritime, his shipping empire, kept these docks alive. But I walked away from it all. The memory stings sharp as the rain still clinging to my jacket. 2 years ago, I was teaching poetry in Boston, shaping young minds with Whitman and Frost. Then Mom's call came. Dad's heart was failing. I quit my job, packed a bag, and drove straight to Havenport. I told myself it was duty, but deep down I wanted to fix things. Dad and we were like ships passing in the fog. He wanted me to take the helm of his company, to chart the family legacy. I chose a different course, teaching my childhood dream. Every argument we had, his voice booming, my stubborn silence, built a wall between us. I thought I'd have time to tear it down. When I got back, I took a job at Havenport High, teaching kids who smelled of sea salt and rebellion. By day, I graded essays. By night, I sat by Dad's bedside, watching his strength fade. He'd grip my hand, his eyes softer than I remembered, but words were scarce. "You're here," he'd murmur, and I'd nod, hoping it was enough. Those moments, fragile as sea glass, were all we had left. Now Dad's gone, and I'm back in my small apartment, the walls bare, except for a photo of us on his boat, smiling like the world was ours. The compass sits on my kitchen table, its needle steady now, pointing somewhere beyond Havenport. I trace its edges, wondering what Dad meant by leaving me this. Was it a message? A test. The guilt gnaws at me. I wasn't the son he wanted, not the leader he needed. Nathan's words echo. Small-time teacher. Maybe he's right. But then I think of Mom Clara, her gentle smile holding our family together. And Lydia, my sister, always caught between loyalty to her husband Nathan and love for us. Her son Mason, with his wide eyes and endless questions, deserves better than this mess. I pick up the compass, its weight grounding me. Dad left me this for a reason. I feel it like a tide pulling me forward. The road from the cemetery led me here to this moment, and I know I can't stay still. Whatever Dad hid, I'll find it, not for money, not for pride, but to understand the man I lost. The compass lies heavy in my pocket as I step into Mom's house, the old Victorian overlooking Havenport's harbor. The air smells of her lavender tea and the sea beyond, but the warmth can't cut through the chill in my chest. Today we hear Dad's will, and I brace myself. I'm not expecting a fortune teachings taught me to live lean, but I hope for anything that says Dad understood me. Lydia's already here, her eyes tired Mason doodling ships on a napkin. Nathan struts in last his polished shoes, clicking a king claiming his throne. Mom nods, her face unreadable, and the lawyer begins. Dad's voice, or what's left of it, echoes through the legal jargon. Caldwell Maritime. The heart of Havenport goes to Nathan, 80% of the shares. The mansion with its wraparound porch and view of the Atlantic is his too. Lydia gets a modest trust fund enough to keep her and Mason afloat. And me. The lawyer slides a small box across the table. Inside the compass, its brass glinting like a half-forgotten promise. That's it. No letter, no explanation. Just this. Nathan leans back, a grin splitting his face. Well, Ethan, looks like you got the family heirloom. Suits a guy who'd rather quote poems than make deals. His laugh grates, and Lydia shoots him a look, but he ignores her. I clench my fists, the compass digging into my palm. I want to yell to demand why Dad thought so little of me, but Mom's hand on my arm steadies me. It's what he wanted, she says softly, and I swallow the hurt. Later, at the Harborfront Cafe where we planned Dad's memorial, Nathan corners me. You thought you'd swoop in, play the good son, and get a piece of the pie. His voice is low, venomous. I earned this, Ethan. While you were off playing teacher, I kept the company alive. I meet his gaze, my voice calm, but sharp. This isn't about money, Nathan. It's about Dad's trust. He snorts, brushing past me. Trust you lost that when you walked away. I wander to the dock, the compass in hand. The needle's still, but my mind churns. Did Dad see me as a failure, or is this compass more than it seems? Mason runs up, his sketchpad flapping. Uncle Ethan, is that compass magic? I force a smile, ruffling his hair. Maybe, kid. Maybe it's trying to tell me something. As he scampers off, I feel a spark of resolve. Nathan can have his empire, but I'll find out what Dad meant. The memorial's tomorrow, and after that I'm following this needle wherever it leads. The sea laps at the pilings, whispering secrets, and I know I'm not done with Dad yet. The memorial fades into a blur of condolences and casseroles, but the compass burns in my pocket, a quiet demand. Havenport's dawn breaks gray, the harbor mist curling like ghosts over the docks. I climb into Dad's old Ford pickup, its engine coughing to life, and set the compass on the dashboard. The needle twitches not north but west, toward the wild edge of town where pines meet the sea. I don't know where I'm going, but I feel Dad's presence like he's riding shotgun, silent as ever. The road narrows, asphalt giving way to gravel, then dirt. I pass rusted lobster traps and abandoned boatyards, the compass needle steady, now pulling me deeper into the unknown. In the glove box I find a small leather journal, its pages worn soft. Dad's handwriting fills it, notes on tides, routes, storms. One entry stops me, cold Havenport's more than a port. It's where our heart anchors. Ethan, you'll understand. My throat tightens. He wrote this for me, but understand what I keep driving the forest, closing in branches, scraping the truck. The compass needle spins, then locks, pointing to a faint path. I follow it, tires crunching, until a clearing opens. A small wooden cabin sits there, weathered but sturdy, its windows glowing faintly against the dawn. It's no one's place yet. It feels familiar, like a memory I never lived. The needle stills as if saying, "Here." I step out, the air sharp with pine and salt. The journal's words echo, "You'll understand." My boots sink into the damp earth as I approach the cabin, heart pounding. What did Dad hide here? A treasure, A truth. Nathan's sneer flashes in my mind, small-time teacher. But I push it away. This isn't about him. It's about Dad, about us. I reach for the doorbell, but my hand hesitates. The compass warms in my palm like it's alive, urging me forward. Whatever's behind that door, it's what Dad wanted me to find. I take a breath, the sea's rhythm steadying me, and press the bell. The chime echoes soft but clear, and I wait ready for answers. The cabin door creaks open, and there's Mom Clara, her silver hair catching the dawn's light. Her smile is soft, but her eyes hold a weight I've never seen. "Ethan, I knew you'd come," she says, voice warm like the tea she's brewing inside. I step into the cabin, the air thick with cedar and memories. It's simple wooden floors, a worn couch, a fireplace, but it feels alive like it's been waiting for me. The compass still in my hand seems to hum its job done. "Why are you here, Mom, and this place?" "What is it?" I ask, my voice rough. She gestures to a chair, handing me a mug. "This was our haven, your father's and mine. When the world got too loud, his work, our fights, we came here to find quiet." I blink, stunned. Dad, the man who commanded ships and boardrooms, had a secret hideout. She nods, reading my face. "You didn't know, did you? He wanted it that way." She reaches into a drawer, pulling out a thick brown envelope. "This is for you," she says, her voice steady but heavy. My fingers tremble as I open it. Inside, a letter in Dad's slanted script and a stack of bank documents. I start with the letter, my heart thudding. "Ethan," it begins, "I was hard on you and I'm sorry. You chose your path and I was too stubborn to see its worth. When you came back for me, sick as I was, it was the greatest gift. I'm proud of you, son." My eyes burn tears, blurring the ink. Dad. Proud. The letter shifts darker. Nathan's charm fooled me once, but I saw his greed. He wanted the company, not the family. I couldn't let him take everything. I glance at the document's bank records, showing $10 million transferred to Mom's name before Dad died. "Your father hid this for you and Lydia." Mom explains, her voice firm. "A living gift, safe from Nathan's grasp. He knew you'd protect what matters." I lean back, the weight of it all crashing in. Dad trusted me, not with his empire, but with his heart. The compass wasn't a trinket. It was a map to this. Mom watches me, her eyes searching. "What will you do, Ethan?" I don't answer yet, but the fire in the hearth crackles, mirroring the spark in my chest. Nathan's out there sitting in Dad's chair, thinking he's won. But this cabin, this truth, changes everything. I fold the letter, my resolve hardening like the cliffs outside. The sea's pulse hums through the walls, and I know I'm not done fighting for Dad's legacy. The cabin's warmth lingers in my bones as I drive back to Havenport, the letter and bank documents tucked safely in the glove box. Dad's words, "Proud, protect," echo louder than the Ford's engine. The compass rests on the seat, its needle still like it's watching me now. But the peace of the cabin fades as I hit the harbor where Caldwell Maritime's cranes loom over the docks. Nathan's running Dad's company, and I can feel it slipping away like sand through my fingers. At home, Lydia's waiting, her face pale, Mason asleep on her lap. "Ethan, something's wrong," she whispers, glancing at the door as if Nathan might barge in. She shows me bank statements, company funds funneled into Nathan's personal accounts, disguised as consulting fees. My stomach twists. "He's been distant," she says, voice breaking. "He's always at meetings, buying cars, throwing parties." I'm scared, Ethan. For Mason, for us. I hug her, promising to fix this, but her fear mirrors mine. Nathan's not just greedy, he's reckless. The next day, I slip into the company's warehouse, where old logbooks gather dust. A dock worker, Pete, a grizzled guy who sailed with Dad, catches me. "Heard you're poking around," he mutters, but his eyes are kind. "Nathan's bleeding us dry." Fired half the crew, signed shady deals with some overseas outfit. I nod, my jaw tight. What's he planning, Pete? He leans closer, voice low. Word is, he's got buyers sniffing around. Wants to sell the whole damn company. Sell Caldwell Maritime. The heart of Havenport, the lifeblood of families like Pete's. I feel sick. I confront Nathan at his new office. All glass and chrome, a mockery of Dad's practical style. He's leaning back, feet on the desk, a whiskey in hand. Come to beg for a job, Ethan. He sneers. I step closer, voice steady. You're destroying what Dad built. Why, Nathan? You've got everything. He laughs cold. Everything. I'm making this company global. You wouldn't get it stuck in your classroom. I press harder. And the money you're siphoning. The layoffs. His eyes narrow, but he waves me off. Run along, teacher. This is my empire now. I leave, fury boiling, but I'm not helpless anymore. Dad's 10 million hidden with Mom is my weapon. Nathan thinks he's untouchable, strutting through Havenport like a king, but he doesn't know I've seen his game. The docks buzz with restless workers, their livelihoods on the line. I grip the compass, its weight grounding me. This isn't just about family. It's about this town, these people. Nathan's building his throne on lies, but I'm ready to tear it down. The sea outside roars, and I swear it's cheering me on. The harbor's pulse thrums through Havenport as I park the Ford near the docks, the compass glinting in the noon sun. Nathan's betrayal, siphoning funds, firing workers, burns in my mind, but Pete's words haunt me most. Sell the company. Caldwell Maritime isn't just Dad's legacy. It's the soul of this town, employing hundreds, keeping families fed. If Nathan hands it to some foreign conglomerate, Havenport will wither its docks, silent, its heart broken. I can't let that happen. I head to the Rusty Anchor, a weathered pub where Dad's old crew gathers. Pete's there nursing a coffee, his face lined with worry. Ethan, you serious about stopping Nathan? He asks, voice gruff. I nod, pulling out the bank documents from Mom. Dad left me something to fight with. 10 million. I want to buy back shares, take control. Pete's eyes widen, then harden with resolve. You're James's son, all right. I know guys, loyal ones who'll back you. Nathan's made enemies. We meet in secret, a handful of Dad's trusted foremen and accountants, their hands calloused from years at sea. They show me proof Nathan's deal to sell the company is nearly sealed, a multi-billion-dollar payout that'll gut Havenport's workforce. He's been bribing shareholders, promising them quick cash. My chest tightens. This isn't just greed, it's destruction. I lay out my plan, use Dad's money to buy enough shares to outvote Nathan at an emergency meeting. The men nod, but Pete warns Nathan's slippery Ethan. He'll fight dirty. I grip the compass, its needle steady. Then we'll fight smarter. Back home, I wrestle with myself. I'm no businessman. My world is classrooms, not boardrooms. Taking on Nathan means stepping into Dad's shoes, the ones I swore I'd never wear. But this isn't about me. It's about Mom's quiet strength, Lydia's fear for Mason, the dock workers' futures. I call Mom, her voice a lifeline. You're not alone, Ethan, she says. Your father believed in you. So do I. Her words steal me like wind filling a sail. I spend days meeting shareholders, small players Nathan ignored, convincing them to sell to me. Each deal drains Dad's fund, but the shares stack up. Nathan's oblivious, too busy hosting lavish dinners, his arrogance blinding him. Lydia texts me, her words shaky. He's planning a big announcement. Hurry! I feel the clock ticking, the sea's rhythm urging me on. The compass sits on my desk, its needle pointing inward now, like it's daring me to trust myself. Nathan thinks he's won, but he's about to face a storm he can't outrun. I'm no teacher today. I'm James Caldwell's son, and I'm coming for what's ours. The morning air in Havenport crackles with tension, the harbor's gulls circling like they sense a storm. I stand in the Caldwell Maritime boardroom, its oak table gleaming under harsh lights. My hands are steady, but my heart pounds the compass tucked in my pocket like a talisman. Today, I end Nathan's reign. The emergency shareholders meeting I called is about to start, and the shares I've bought scraped together with Dad's hidden millions give me the edge. 2/3 of the company enough to dethrone a king. Nathan doesn't know what's coming. He struts in all swagger, his tailored suit a stark contrast to the weathered faces of the dock workers outside watching through the windows. "What's this nonsense, Ethan?" he snaps, tossing his briefcase onto the table. "You dragging me here to play hero? Go back to your chalkboards." His smirk is a blade, but I meet his gaze unflinching. "Sit down, Nathan. You're not in charge today." The room stirs, shareholders murmuring, sensing the shift. The meeting begins, and I lay it out cold and clear. Nathan Bennett has betrayed this company. He's siphoned funds for personal gain, cars parties' offshore accounts. He signed fraudulent contracts pushing us toward a sale that'll gut Havenport. Gasps ripple through the room. I slide documents across the table. Bank records, emails, proof from Pete and the crew. Nathan's face pales, but he recovers, slamming his fist. "Lies. You're jealous, Ethan, a nobody grasping at my throne." I hold his stare, my voice low, lethal. "Then explain the missing millions. Explain the deal to sell us out." "You can't. The vote is swift, brutal." My shares combined with the loyalists strip Nathan of his title. He's out. The room erupts, but I feel no joy, only resolve. Nathan staggers to his office, and I follow the compass warm against my chest. He's pacing papers, scattered a cornered animal. "You think this changes anything?" he snarls. "I'll sue Ethan. I'll bury you." I step closer, my voice a quiet storm. "You destroyed Dad's legacy, Nathan. Computers meant for the docks are in your house. Contracts meant for Havenport lined your pockets. This is over." He lunges for the documents, but I'm faster, handing him the dismissal notice. His hands shake, crumpling the paper. How did you know?" he stammers, eyes wild. I lean in, unyielding. "You got sloppy, Nathan. Dad's people, the ones you fired, they saw everything. You thought you owned this town, but it's not yours to sell." He slumps defeated, muttering empty threats as he grabs his coat and storms out the door, slamming like a gunshot. I stand alone, the office silent except for the distant hum of the sea. The compass feels heavier now, like it's carried me through a war. Nathan's gone, but the fight's not over. Havenport's watching, and Dad's legacy is in my hands. I step to the window, the docks alive with workers, their futures hanging on what I do next. The horizon stretches wide, and I know whatever comes, I'm ready to steer this ship. The boardroom's echo fades as I drive back to Havenport's heart. The compass cool in my pocket, its work done. The harbor glitters under a rare winter sun, but the victory over Nathan feels hollow. His shadow still lingers, not in the company, but in my family. Lydia's house is quiet when I arrive, the kind of quiet that hides a storm. She's on the couch, Mason curled against her, his sketch pad abandoned. Her eyes are red, but her jaw is set strong like Mom's. "I did it, Ethan," she says, voice low. I gave him the divorce papers. I sit beside her, the weight of her words sinking in. Nathan's betrayal wasn't just about money he used. Lydia played the loving husband while chasing Dad's empire. She shows me a text he sent last night after the meeting. "You'll regret this, Lydia. You're nothing without me." I clench my fists, but she shakes her head. "He's wrong. I'm done living his lies." Mason stirs, mumbling about ships, and Lydia strokes his hair, her resolve a quiet fire. "I'm doing this for him," she says. "For us." Nathan's downfall is complete by week's end. Word spreads he sank his stolen cash into a scam investment, some smooth-talking broker who vanished. He's broken debt and gone from Havenport, his threats empty as the wind. Lydia takes her share of Dad's hidden millions, opening a small art shop by the docks, its walls soon bright with Mason's drawings of boats and gulls. She's not just surviving, she's building something new. Mom calls us to the cabin that evening, the wooden hideout where Dad's truth set me free. The fire crackles, casting shadows as we sit, Mom, Lydia, Mason, and me. Mason's eyes sparkle, his voice piping up. "Uncle Ethan, can I be a captain like Grandpa, or maybe a teacher like you?" I laugh, ruffling his hair. "Why not both, kid? Just keep drawing those ships." Lydia smiles, her first real one in weeks, and Mom's eyes glisten, her hand finding mine. "Your father would love this," she says, voice soft. "All of us together." The sea murmurs outside, its rhythm weaving through the cabin's walls. I look at them, my family scarred but whole, and feel Dad here in the warmth, in Mason's giggle, in the way Mom's smile holds us tight. Nathan tore us apart, but we're mending stronger than before. The compass sits on the table, glinting in the firelight, a reminder of the path that brought us back. I don't need its needle now. The direction is clear. We're home, and whatever lies ahead, we'll face it as one. The cabin's glow fades as I drive into Havenport's dawn, the harbor waking with the clatter of cranes and gulls. The compass rests in my jacket, no longer trembling, as if it knows its journey's done. Nathan's gone, his schemes crushed, but the weight of Dad's legacy. Caldwell Maritime, this town, our family settles on me now. The boardroom calls again, not for war, but for a choice. They want a new leader, someone to steer the company back to its roots. Eyes turn to me, James Caldwell's son. I stand at the window watching workers unload crates, their lives tied to these docks. Pete's there barking orders, his faith in me unshaken. But the truth hits hard. I'm no captain of industry. My heart's in the classroom, shaping kids' dreams, not signing contracts. I think of Dad's letter, his pride in my path, not his. "You don't have to be me," he wrote, and I feel him now freeing me. I face the board, my voice clear. "I'm not your president, but I'll fight for this company as your advisor. Let's choose someone who will honor my father's vision." They pick Sarah, Dad's old operations chief, tough as the sea and loyal to Havenport. Her handshake is firm, her eyes promising to rebuild what Nathan broke. I step back, relief washing over me like a tide. The company's safe, not in my hands, but in the right ones. I keep a small stake enough to watch over Dad's dream, but my place is elsewhere. The high school's waiting, my students' essays piling up, their futures as vital as any ship's cargo. At home, I set the compass on my desk, its brass catching the light. It's no trinket, it's Dad's heart guiding me to the truth. His legacy isn't the company alone, but the love he poured into us, the trust he placed in me. I was never a failure in his eyes. I was enough. The photo of us on his boat, grinning under a summer sky, sits nearby. I touch it, smiling. "I get it now, Dad," I whisper. "You gave me everything." The harbor hums outside, alive with purpose. Mom's at Lydia's shop, helping Mason paint a mural of waves. They're my anchor, my reason. I grab my bag, ready for class, the compass left behind, but its lesson carved deep. Havenport's not just a town, it's where I found myself, where Dad's love still sails. The sea sings steady and sure, and I step into the day, carrying his pride like a wind at my back. The classroom hums with the chatter of my students, their voices a messy symphony as I collect their essays. Havenport's harbor glints through the window, the docks alive with Caldwell Maritime's steady rhythm, now safe under Sarah's command. The compass sits in my desk drawer, its brass worn from my touch, a quiet reminder of the storm I weathered. Dad's gone. Nathan's a ghost, but their shadows linger in the lessons they left me. I lean against the desk, the sea's pulse sinking with my thoughts, and let the truth settle. First, there's honesty. I didn't beat Nathan with tricks or lies. It was truth, hard, unyielding truth that tore his mask off. Those bank records, the workers' stories, they were my weapons. Living right, even when it's tough, builds something stronger than any fortune. It's why I can face my students, tell them to stand tall, knowing I've walked that path. The sea doesn't hide its storms, and neither should we. Then family. Mom's laughter at Lydia's shop, Mason's crayons sketching dreams, they're my harbor. We fought, we broke, but we rebuilt stronger because we chose each other. Nathan turned his back on that chasing power, and it left him empty. I've learned blood isn't just a bond, it's a lifeline. When the world's too heavy, it's the ones who love you who keep you afloat. Success hit me hardest. I thought Dad wanted me in his chair, steering his empire. But his letter, his pride in my teaching, showed me something else. Success isn't a title or a bank account. It's living true to who you are. I'm a teacher, not a tycoon, and every kid I inspire carries Dad's legacy forward. The compass didn't point to wealth. It pointed to me, to the life I've chosen. Finally, failure. Nathan's fall wasn't just bad luck. His pride, his greed, they built the trap he fell into. That scam he chased, the debts he drowned in, they were his choices. It's a warning, lose sight of what matters, and you lose yourself. I tell my students this, their eyes wide, hoping they'll learn before life teaches them the hard way. I believe we all have a compass, inside a quiet voice guiding us through the dark. Mine led me to Dad's truth, to Havenport's heart, to my family's strength. It wasn't about winning, it was about understanding. Dads love this town, my classroom. They're my legacy, richer than any empire. The bell rings, kids scrambling out, but I linger, the sea's song steady outside. I'm not just James Caldwell's son anymore. I'm Ethan, and I'm enough. Pick up your compass wherever it lies, and let it lead you home.